Hi Yash, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for coming again for this another wonderful session that we are going to use and talk about things that will actually open eyes of lot of people who are like seeking uh, uh, legitimate spiritual content on YouTube, but actually end up with the people who are more into businesses, more into their monetization side, and not delivering what people are actually looking for when they are searching something on spiritual side, when they are looking for food for sorry, the food for thoughts in terms of the spiritual content, right? So, how are you doing today? Shall we begin the talk?
Yes, I'm very much ready for this discussion. Looking forward.
Great, great. So yes, with the today's topic, and let me just explain what how I came up with this topic entirely. I myself have been quite a spiritual guy. When I say spirituality, I mean a non-religious spirituality, right? Where I feel myself wanting to connect to the nature. I feel myself wanting to understand the philosophies behind the life, and how my acts actually connects with the overall universe, and what is the purpose of being me being on earth, and how collectively we all humans actually are responsible for the goods and bads of this world around us, right? And I have been really uh, astonished by the content that is available on this front. Whether you see the content coming from the West, influencers, and I must not say influencers, but the spiritual mentors, spiritual gurus. There have been a dramatic amount of literature on this subject, both in books and now in the YouTube as well. But there has been another side of this entire, if I can say, business, um, where people are actually doing it for business alone, And I have given it a term like the business of spirituality, where you purposefully engage people, uh, in a sense where you yourself are not very clear about the depth of this subject, and then you try to monetize it. What do you think about it? What are your feelings on this topic, and how do you think this is affecting the entire space?
Yeah. Let me first, as always, I want to thank our ancestors for this discussion today, as always. I want to describe my own journey first so that people understand what is a spiritual guru versus a business mentor or coach and etc.
Right.
My journey took a very long time. I started my meditation officially, I would say officially in 2001. But before that itself, I had a lot of premonitions, intuitions. I used to listen to mantra, and I was also going through a lot of books, regarding spirituality, and that led me to continue the path of meditation on a daily basis, both day, morning and night, right? And this led me also to do a deep research on what is truly spirituality versus religion.
Right.
On top of that, it also led me to understand who are the real gurus out there. Most of them have already passed on, as you know, ages ago, and we have variety of them, not just from our Hindu religion alone. There are different, who came at different times of the year, thousands of years ago. I don't want to name each one of them, but they are all ascended masters, and they are also
Right.
spiritual gurus at that point in time who came to help humanity to transcend the daily karma, daily lives, etc. Because that is what we have to become, to become spiritual, so that we understand who we are and where we are heading and what do we contribute to the society, essentially. What we do today is essentially is to pay for our bills, but spirituality is about contributing back to the community. So my path was, I would say, sometime around 2014. I went more deeper into this concept, and it took me almost 8 years to, more into this subject, uh, deeper into the meditation, getting the information, directly from the source, and also reading a lot about what is going on in the world and how does it affect us, how does it affect others, how does it affect me, what about the children themselves who are just starting up their life, right? We I would say that an individual will have to walk through this path, at least for 8 years, to be in that awareness, to become in that awareness position. I would assume that even Buddha had taken 8 years of his lifetime. I'm sure, there are other masters who came in and they would have spent equally the same amount of time to gradually progress in spirituality to become who they became. Right? So it took me 8 years. So essentially,
Right.
the videos that I'm putting out today, describing my personal experiences, is only upon getting a sort of a approval, I would say, from the source. I'm not just coming out and saying, hey, look at me and I have all this personal experience. No, they have to give me approval and then I go out to speak on their behalf. So it's a progression that they give you upon like completion, or I would say in this current trend it's called a certificate, right? So they are not giving a certificate, but from your own experience that this is what they're going to ask you to do at the end of the whole series. Yeah.
Even I also like feel the real gurus actually puts you on forward path. The progression, the word that they used in a sync of the entire thing is really the meat of the subject, I would say.
Yes, yes. So essentially, they put you on the right path, and your soul, your Atma, will know what is right, what is wrong as you progress in your spirituality. So you don't really need an endorsement of a guru or a master. Your soul itself
Mm.
start to recognize what is right, what is wrong. So going back to your earlier question as to the difference between a spiritual guru and the one that is making a spirituality into a business, this is the whole difference that everybody have to understand. Nobody comes out after 3 days and say he or she is a healer. No one comes out and say he or she is a guru. They have to progress every particular step before they come out as a guru or a teacher or a coach or a mentor, you know, to teach others. And whenever this particular guru is imparting the knowledge or the wisdom, the other individual will start to recognize. You don't even have to call yourself as a guru. The other person will recognize your value, they will recognize your knowledge and your wisdom, and that is because the soul is getting stirred by the true knowledge of spirituality. And that's when the actual soul will say, hey, Yashoda is a guru or Gaurav is a guru. Not like when you claim, if you claim you are yourself a business, is a spiritual guru, then it's not quite correct. I have to define also why I have called myself as a healer, because that's what I have studied all through my 8 years of my journey. So that's why I can define myself as a healer, and that came as an approval from the source. It's not just that I would like to define myself as a healer. So likewise, anybody else is defining themselves as a mentor, a coach, or a spiritual guru, etc., they should have gone through this whole cycle of process with their source, the master who was teaching them, and then come out and speak the truth. It's all about dharma, justice, and this is what spirituality is all about. So this
No, in
is
fact, my concern largely, roams around the intent also, you know, the people involved into this and also the intent. Like, I really feel if you are genuinely interested in someone's progression towards spirituality, you know, you would really have an intent to wanting to make him follow you. You are probably on a drive to actually make him, free from himself, his life, and his own questions. So it's more about like pushing people towards freedom and not wanting to them follow me for the answers. The intent is also does matter in my opinion. What do you think about it?
the intent has to be correct. When we talk about intent, when somebody wants to learn from a guru, he or she should have a clear intention of what they're coming there for, and at the same time the guru would already know why they are coming to this person. Maybe they might come with the daily issues, which is part of the daily life progression, but at the same time they may be looking for only a soul progression. There are some who are really seeking the soul progression, whereas there are a set of people who are only interested in rectifying their daily karma and issues that or relationship that they are going through, or the job issues that they're going through, etc. So there are various category of people, but the intention has to be clear. And when the guru is imparting the knowledge, the student has to pay attention also. They have to become a disciple in the sense in they have to dedicate their time to do the proper meditation, proper reading, practicing what has been taught. What I notice is people have no they don't have sufficient knowledge, in the sense that they don't want to spend enough time to dedicate to spirituality, but they all they want is quick answer to their day-to-day life questions, and that's about it. And they want to go to the next level of progression, which I feel is not going to help them progress from a soul perspective. It is the soul that we have to address. Once you address the soul, your whole physical body is also addressed. This is what a guru can actually, impart in terms of the knowledge and the wisdom. Whereas a business person is only selling, content in terms of how to become rich, how to become the next, potential person or leader in the industry, or how to become a coach, how to become a mentor. There's a lot of courses out there that says you can become a coach within 15 days. Write a book, you become a coach. You become number one author or bestseller, you become the next guru of this content. Assuming you write a book on life, life coaching, then you become the expert in that category. Actually, that is very very wrong. uh, we should not fall into this kind of prey, because this person is essentially expecting you to buy the book. And of course the book gets trend. When it gets trending, it becomes number one bestseller in the platform. So therefore people would think that this book is the ultimate for them to give them all the answers that they are seeking. All the answers that we are seeking is within us. We read the books only for a specific knowledge, but it is should not be taken as a actual content to modulate your spirituality. So I hope this is a little bit clearer, because when you rely just on the book, that is not going to help you. You have to spend time internally. You have to do your reflection. Meditation is the way to give you all the answers that you're seeking. Because only when we are silent, we are able to hear and see things that we cannot see with our normal eyes or hear with our normal eyes. And these are coming directly from the sources, and these are coming directly from the masters who are ready to impart their knowledge and wisdom. And this I would consider them as a gift, because not everybody would be given everything. Maybe some people would be given a specific task. Maybe the other set of people would be given a separate, intuition or download, etc. Not everyone would get the same download as everybody else. So every individual would get their own, but it has to be verified if the source that you're connecting with is the good source or the negative source. We spoke about, this energy healing in the previous video. If the viewers have not watched, they have to watch the previous video to understand all about energy healing. So this is where I feel people have to pay attention to all the people who claim to be authors of the great books out there on the platform, or people who claim to be the greatest mentor, or claim to be the greatest guru out there. All of them, we have to, start realizing that these are not the true essence of what spirituality is about. Spirituality is a gradual process. Healing also happens at a gradual pace, and that's about it. And people have to start recognizing this, signals that you see in the content that is getting put out there. If we don't pay attention to this, we fall into the trap and start realizing later, after paying a lot of money and recognizing that this is not really helping. It may help you at a point where you can start earning your money, but it doesn't give you the progression that you're looking for from a spirituality standpoint. So if you put a dollar value in front or a rupee value in front of your eyes, this is where you fall into the trap. Spirituality is all about putting the dollar value and the rupee value behind. Spirituality comes first, and everything else goes at the back. And that's where, once you gain the knowledge from the spirituality, you can apply it on your day-to-day life. It'll be your guide all throughout until you drop off from this physical body.
So also, the concerns that I'm trying to address by our talk today is about the priorities that on the side of gurus, like what kind of priorities you have. So imagine the kind of impressions that we had already, when we think about the ancestral's way of guru relationship between a guru and shishya, right? Now that relationship used to be way more about changing the life of grooming the life of a pupil, right? The life of your the students that you are addressing to, that you are working with. And on the other hand, if you see, this new breed of the so-called gurus that are now mushrooming on YouTube, my large problem is about the intent that you have, right? So it's really okay. It's understood, that consumers are like people are consuming a lot of content, and due to their short attention span, people want the short form contents more, right? They want quick answers that you said. But on the guru side, it cannot be the same way, right? You cannot be on a faster lane. One way or the way you have to calm down your shishas also. But you also need to calm down, listen, this is the way it should progress, and not just start getting to their demand of the short form content, and start creating this, which is where exactly I feel like these new so-called spiritual gurus are more on the side of content creators, and they're precisely not the spiritual gurus that one should expect. You know?
Yeah,
This is a whole different breed that I am seeing, which are trying to monetize and not contribute to the progression of people wanting to achieve some spiritual milestone in their life.
yeah. I agree with all your points that you mentioned. Essentially, their priority is so different. Their priority is to make money, right? Out of the people who are falling into the trap of insecurity, emotions. They might be going through a very difficult point in their life. So essentially, they're falling into this trap and thinking that this could be the answer to what they're looking for. But eventually, that is not what they were looking for. They pay so much of money, maybe they end up landing up in this space and realizing a little bit later, there are people who might think that this is the way that they can earn the money. If these are people who just want to earn money, then I think it is okay. But that is not going to answer anything on spirituality. But on the other hand, there are people who are putting out a lot of content, engagement. They are monetizing a lot of information out of spirituality, which is very, very wrong. They have to stop all of these. We know who they are. They are well known in the industries. Most of the people are very, very well known in all throughout the world, not just in India. There are people who are monetizing out of India and also out of US mainly. And I see mainly in these two countries. Of course, there are other countries out there as well, but these two countries where we see a lot of people are monetizing, from the content perspective. So youths, especially who are coming out of school, colleges, they have to start recognizing the signs, not to fall for this. They have to realize that these are not real gurus. The real gurus have already passed on. We have to cling on to those that we believe who are our ancestors, who have shown the way, all throughout the generations. They are the one who have been holding on to this universe all this while, and they are the one who is going to complete our journey and destiny in this lifetime.
Like
And
I'll give you, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll give you an example of one of the guys that's he is very very so-called popular guy these days on YouTube, and this guy actually shows you the reviews of it. That, look, this is the hotel I'm staying in. This is the UAE hotels I'm staying there. This is the Australian hotels I'm staying in. These are the luxuries I'm living in my life. This was the same guy who used to, show off his Ferrari because he wrote a book and he started a business, and because of that, so if you follow him, you will also get. You just take his 15-minute course, take his full house course, take his 1 hour course, and for 599 rupees, for 199, 1,000 rupees, and then by taking this course, you'll also get with the Ferrari. You'll also enjoy the luxuries of those lives. And now the funny thing is that this guy is turning into a spiritual guru, which is like, which actually makes me very crazy. Why the hell and how also? I'm also concerned about how. But my prime question is why the hell people follow such people, without learning about their depth, without learning about where they came from. And these people are not claiming to be spiritual gurus just because they're learning how to meditate.
yeah, yeah, if you see, my backdrop is from my hard-earned money. It's not from people falling prey for my for my knowledge, but it is from my hard-earned money. But yeah, I've seen this individual, showing all these good hotels, driving a nice car, and showing the backdrop, etc., and suddenly turning into a spiritual guru. Uh, these are considered people who are just gullible, don't see the truth. This is why spirituality helps us see the differences between who is the real guru and who is not the real guru. And if the individuals become gullible, they just fall for whatever this individual is selling, to the audience, because everybody is just. I've seen a video where people are even falling on the feet of this person who is suddenly turned into a guru, whereas in the
And now
past.
people have started calling me, he's the next Osho. Like there's no difference between what the heights of that Osho has achieved in his life and any ex person who knows how to meditate and he started showing the videos online. Like there's no difference between, the Baba Ramdev and someone who has just learned how to practice yoga, and then you can match up all, both of these people on the same platform, say these both are equal. Like this is the craziness that is, existing around us.
Yeah. So again, I want to go back to why the reason for spirituality, because once you meditate, nobody can actually, go through your soul and tell you that you have to sign up for this kind of, courses. First, he says you have to sign up for this much, and later on you have to sign up for another higher amount. Then it will lead you to become a millionaire, right? Essentially, he's just selling, monetizing on the individuals. right? Based
No,
on
let me just do an announcement. If people watching this video in comment guess the name of this guy that we're talking, we'll offer you 1 to 2 sessions of course free of cost after this discussion of the Yash Foundation. That's an offer on live running video, right? Just name this guy. Just comment this guy. Guess who is this guy we're talking about? Yes, yes. Please carry
yeah,
on.
yeah. So people are falling for this gullible, strategy or marketing tactic that they are putting out there. These people are supported by a group of people out there who actually create these kind of marketing strategy and putting it out there to say this is how you should learn to become a millionaire and this is how you should learn to become a spiritual guru, etc. Let me say again, based on my journey, becoming a spiritual guru is not a simple task. You have to go through a lot of dedication, a lot of time has to be given. All they're asking for is time, but yet, you have to study, you have to research, you have to, come back internally to see what is going on from outside into the internal world to see what what I have studied outside and what is being reflected from within. So don't just fall for these kind of strategies. Just make sure that you validate these individuals. They are just selling information about themselves. I would say they're just selling information about themselves that they are so and so. No, we should not trust them. We should validate their background, where they came from, who they are, uh, how long they have been practicing this spirituality. If they cannot show any kind of miracle evidences, then I would say they are not just a guru, right?
Can I ask you one thing, Yash? Since we're on this topic specifically, like why I feel why these people are actually able to grab the attention of normal individuals, normal people. Is it because like all of us in these time today have become so much vulnerable in terms of exposing our insecurities to these people, knowingly, unknowingly. Since we are like expressing our insecurities in terms of in format of like searches that we do, that the kind of content we search, like everything is being recorded, right? In this days of AI, so computer knows, the research knows what we're searching, and they also know the intent behind what we are trying to search for. So is it like this excessive vulnerability, part of which is because of the innovations of AI, and part of which innovation of our maybe our own insecure, our own uh, exposure that we are giving to these people. Are they actually monetizing our insecurities? Are they actually monetizing our own clutter mind? Confusing.
Essentially our consciousness level has not been invoked. It is dormant at this point in time. That's why they cannot recognize these differences. So once they invoke the consciousness, or invoke the third eye, no one can actually cheat on us. And that's why they are able to monetize on all these individuals who are just falling for the marketing strategies that is being put out there, whether be it content, whether the courses that are out there that is being put out, or the books that is being sold. See, what I have, based on my research, what these people do today is they write a book first, then they call themselves as the world number one selling author. So the people then start to think that, realize that, oh, Gaurav is number one best selling author in India. So they go sign up with Gaurav, right? So then point number two is they start selling courses. These information are available on public domain. Some of these courses are there on public domain. They just copy and paste, make it into a content that looks like it's theirs, but it's not theirs. It's not their own, content that is written based on their intuition or download that they've received from source. It is not. So they're just copywriting and putting it out there as a course content. So this is the second part where people start to believe that this is a number one best-selling author and number one best-selling course content creator out there. Then the third phase comes in, that then they start selling themselves as the spiritual guru or the business guru, that they are the best person with this knowledge that you should learn from. So this is where we are all falling short, recognizing what they are doing to us today. First, we have to invoke the soul that is dormant today. Once you invoke the soul, it start vibrating at a frequency, and our energy also starts vibrating. We start to recognize these individuals, and we should call them out in the future. uh, Maybe not in this video, but definitely we would love to hear from the comment section who they think they are. But definitely these are people out there that have been selling these courses and books out there, has existed for many years, and it has penetrated all platforms, all social medias, etc. And we are not recognizing not even an inch about that. They have penetrated all the way, right from big institutions to smaller institutions, to schools and also to the children as well, because it has penetrated different platforms, right? It also includes social media today, which is it's running so fast that people are just capturing whatever that is put out there in all the social media. So we have to start recognizing and making sure that our youths, especially in India, in Malaysia, in Singapore, and in other countries, they have to start recognizing these signs and start to call them out, because these are fake gurus. These are not one who has passed on knowledge from their ancestors. When ancestors are communicating and providing information, they have to see whether you are ready for it. Then they give you the invocation, as in, like, they invoke your soul, right? And then subsequently they give you a daily lesson, both internally and externally. And then subsequently they finally will give you the go ahead, a green light to go out there and be the one that who's going to communicate. I do have, people, client who comes and say, "Oh, just give me healing, I'll be fine." And then, I don't want to. I'm lazy, and I don't want to do meditation. I don't want to learn meditation. I am not going to give just simple healing to anyone, because it has to be approved also by my source before I can actually give healing to somebody. If I do that, I would, it's a gift that has been given to me, and I could lose that gift as well. So, this is something that people have to understand the differences. If Gaurav today feels not so good, he wants a healing for his headache, I cannot just simply offer my healing to that individual because he just simply asked. Because it has to be, the intention has to be right, and the intent, if the intention is not right and they just want to, just get a quick recovery and not want to actually progress in their spirituality, then that healing will not happen, because the
Right,
healing.
the teachings actually, the successful teaching actually requires, on both efforts and intent on both sides, like on
Yes.
teacher side as well and on the
Yes.
people side as well.
Yes. It is both sides. I mean, first I have to make that individual ready as well, to be able to receive that healing, right? And then on my side, I should get an okay from my source to be able to, pass on the healing to that individual. Today there are many other modalities like Reiki and etc. They use the energy to do the healing, etc., for the individuals. But I feel, what I have learned, I'm sharing it as it is. It should be done the way I have described just now. It shouldn't
No,
just.
yeah, I'm sorry to cut you on down on this, but actually, I'm really okay with the business. I'm a business person, and I understand at times, business is actually a medium to deliver the value that people do not know that already exist. Business, and especially in our case, in the field of spirituality, it's really works on both side of the sustainability also, and also it is a medium to actually channelize the information, because because of the fundamentals that probably anything that comes for free actually doesn't get so much attention or value, right? So business is really okay. My overall focus is on intent of the people. When someone comes to you with their all insecurities, problems, life issues exposed and too vulnerable, phase of their life, how do you deal with them? That is, I believe, separates from a guru, versus a content creator, just a spiritual content creator.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, today's guru is all about how to make that 1 million crore, 1 million dollar, right?
Right,
It
right.
is not about healing that individual right from the root of what they are going through. If the individual gets the healing right from the roots, then that healing progression happens, and then they start to be more comfortable being themselves, and be out there and start doing the work that they have to do. Right? Either they do a day job, or they start on spirituality. That depends on the individual. But essentially, it has to happen at the deep level. If you're just going to that business of spirituality kind of gurus, they just sell you the courses. It won't give you any healing. You're just basically falling into the trap of just earning money, but it doesn't resolve your day-to-day issues. It doesn't resolve your health. That if you don't have health, you can't do the next job anyway. So why give in into that aspect at all? First first heal yourself from the past karma, from your ancestors, from all the generational curses that exist, and then you know progress. While you're working, you can do this, right? You don't have to stop working. But there are individuals who like to take a break completely, and maybe go on this path, and they call themselves a siddha because they don't want to be associated with any kind of family. They don't want to be associated with the physical world, so they take on the life of a siddha. Siddha essentially, away from everything else, and then living a life of simplicity, and connecting directly with the source.
So there, for the clarity, in northern India we call them sadhu.
Sadhu, yes, correct.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so these sadhus or siddhas, they take on the simple life. They may not live in a house. They could also live in a cave. They may be living in a house which is also could be very very simple. They may just lie down every day without any bed, uh, you know, taking very simple food, and then practicing their spirituality, connecting daily with the source, and connecting with their guru. They may have identified their guru based on their meditation, and then they start connecting every day and practicing their daily life. It may not apply to everybody because we have a different lifestyle. Then we can still, uh, just like me, I've gone through my own healing. I've gone through my own, you know, meditation practices and studying and doing my own research while I was doing a long hours of work in my corporate life. I was still able to do that. So anybody else can do it if they put their, heart to it. It is possible. It's just that we have to give time to it. It is not impossible. It is possible. It is not mission impossible.
Yes, on the account of gurus, on the account of say healers, or on the account of mentor like you, right? And or the other also genuine healers and spiritual tutors who are just out there who are actually doing the good job. I kind of have a question. I really want to understand. In these days, where the comparisons are dramatically high, where the expectations of normal people are very high. Competition is among people is dramatically high. uh, what happens and what should happen, when you find someone come to you, uh, or anyone on your position finds someone come to him or her in a grossly vulnerable situation in his or her life, emotionally excessively vulnerable, financially, dramatically in problems. How how these people who are like in dearth of their life right now come to you for healing, come to you for solutions, should be dealt on the tutor side, on the teacher side.
Yeah, we should deal with them, with compassion, understanding their problems. I do spend a lot of time talking to them. Essentially, even though I would think I will finish my call at 30 minutes, I generally don't. I do pass out to about an hour, sometimes even 2 hours, because while they are also discussing their problems, they are also sharing what they know about spirituality. And sometimes we have to correct them. Sometimes they share what they have seen outside, whether they ask whether it's true or wrong. We have to deal with compassion. And as a guru, we should never be in competition with anybody else. That is something I would advise any guru out there, or coach, or mentor, or who's out there doing this, very important work. We should never be in competition, because once you are in competition, whatever gifts that you have may just go away.
Right.
Whatever, yeah, yeah, because these are all gifts that are given by our ancestors and the source. We should never be seen as a competitor with another person. And even the customers who come in, or the client, or the individuals who are coming in, they should not see us or compare us with another individual. When they hear about us, they come to us, they recognize, when they recognize us as a group, that is when we feel good about it. That's all. But we should never feel proud, or we should always be humble in all ways. And uh, and they are the one who should recognize us, not us telling them that, hey, I'm the guru, I'm so and so. No. It is the other, the one who's approaching us has to recognize us, that yes, we have the kind of gift that is going to resolve their issues and take them through progress into the next level of their life. Most of my clients are in the, you know in the 40s and in the 50s and even 60s, 70s as well. So they've gone through a portion of their life, and now they're in this phase of life that they are looking for answers for next part of their chapter. So yeah. I would encourage the youths also to start looking into this aspect of spirituality at the early age, because this will really truly help them to understand what life is about, why we should spend time on spirituality. It is not going to make you like a yogi, or or make you like a sadhu or siddhar or something like that, but it's to help you recognize the truth. When we know the truth, nobody can step on our toes. We know how to speak to the other individuals. And even parents who have children, they should start imparting this kind of knowledge. And if they cannot find time to do this, they can always find the right guru uh, to send their children to start learning from the younger age. This is missing now in this DNA age, where we find that the students are spending more time at the coaching center rather than, paying attention. The class is sufficient. Once you come home, you should, take on more towards creativity, spirituality, building on a foundation from younger age. This is truly missing in this time. I would say that all parents have to. I'm calling out to all the parents who have children. They have to start sending their children to these kind of classes so that they can start learning from young age. Either they can put them into this kind of you know courses, or they can put them into uh, this spiritual classes where they can learn about good spiritual books, about good spiritual master that has already been out there. So that they start recognizing this from early times. And also go to temples, take the children to temples, make them understand about what temple is all about, and talk about the architecture, the sculptures that has been made. Make them understand all of these right from beginning. We don't have to follow the Western world as much as what is happening today. Once we have this foundation, when we go out of college or school, we are ready to face the world much better. We see a lot of youths are not able to grasp the world today. They're just following the trend. They're just following what is out there. They're not using their own intuition, their own consciousness to understand what is right and what is wrong. So I urge all parents to start recognizing this at early age as much as possible, and also send them to all these classical musics, classical dance. These are all art forms that has been introduced way long back by our ancestors, and it creates that emotional understanding, towards what our background is, and it gives us a much more better perspective about our belonging and source.
Also, I feel like even in Indian parents actually need to understand. So before teaching anything to kids, I guess I need to understand more that there's a difference between spirituality and the religion, and if I myself can like differentiate both of them, uh, that spirituality is really not only and only about religion. Uh, then I will be probably able to see it from a different angle, take it from my side somewhere, and teach things to my children, to the people in this new upcoming age that is coming to.
Yeah,
So
true.
also like, yeah,
Yes,
you were
true.
saying
So
something.
parents also have to start learning themselves. Maybe if they have not been taught in the beginning, they can start learning. They don't have to waste time, sitting around gossiping about what is happening in the world. They don't have to do that. They
Yeah,
can.
because what I feel, the majority of the spirituality that our generation have actually came from our previous generation in form of the religions, learnings from the religions, and probably, and I'll also say that this is a kind of good part of our time also, that this in this age we are actually redefining or reworking on separating the religion and on and the spirituality also. So probably what we can do is from the previous generation we can stop that mix up of the spirituality and religion both. Now from here we can rewrite the script for our new generations.
Yeah.
That's what I
As,
feel.
as always, I would say we have to reclaim our spiritual inheritance, because we are who we are. We are made up of two things, which is body and soul, right? So these two things has to harmonize to become one. And this is what we call at the end of the spirituality is the embodiment of Shiva and Shakti in one body and soul.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, kind of, this is my last question. When we talk about, and I also feel this personally that when we feel, talk about the real relationship between a guru and a pupil, uh, what I feel is when we try to, create a difference between those who are like only here to monetize and those who are actually here to, uh, bring you towards progression in your own life. So progression, which I guess we discussed in the early part of this video also, the real people, the real guru that I feel actually puts you, or maybe I should put it this way, the real spirituality actually is to put you on progression, on in order to make you capable enough to take real action. It's really not about to put you in an inaction mode. While if you see that the fake gurus, if I can use that term, the fake gurus and content creators actually always leave you with confusing answers, always leave you with the looping talks where you cannot define clearly what exactly should I take home from this discussion of this chat.
Yeah.
How do you think we can create a clear distinction between whom to follow, whom to listen on YouTube, and other content also? How to
Yeah,
give the
we
differences?
don't have to become a follower of anybody. This is what I would say as a starting point.
Right, great, great.
We don't, the follower concept came because of the social media. You have to
Right,
like, you have to follow, you have to click the button, you have to do this next step. Then they become the follower of that individual. So essentially, when you become a follower, you are not doing any action. So you're losing out on the time on taking action on yourself. Basically, you're just following the person and listening to his or her, information, and but not taking action individually. So
right,
don't be a follower. Be your own follower is what I would say. When you become your own follower, it means that you are taking action on your progression, your spirituality, and you are, healing your soul and taking it to the next level. And the same soul is going to show you the path for your next chapter in your life, which is your final destination. While you're trying to reach your final destination, in between, you are taking many, many actions that is going to be contributing to the society. I would say contributing to the society is so much more important because then the same society is going to grow along with you and coming along with you. You are not going to leave behind the community that is out there and saying goodbye to them. No. You want them to come along with you, but not in a way of followers. You are going to be, maybe you become one of the gurus in the future, and you actually become a mentor and teach them that, hey, you have to start, putting action into your life, paying attention to this information and start gradually progressing in your life. Otherwise, we just follow the trend, go to school, go to college, go get a job, work for 12, 14 hours in a day, no time for self, no time for creativity, and just continue the cycle for the next, years and years and years. And then when you retire, you realize you didn't do so many things in your life. And that's when your soul start kicking you and saying that you didn't pay attention to what I was saying, and you have been sitting idle and just running after the matrix, earning the money, and then you are too old to even travel anywhere to see things. It's important to travel at least to the nearest place in your own city, because even in your own cities, you will have a lot of places to go see what our ancestors have built. Once you go understand these concepts, you come home, you introspect on that, and then that gives you a lot of progression in your life. It doesn't mean you have to travel abroad. If you have money, great. You travel to Egypt, you travel to Europe, you travel to UK, and anywhere else you want to travel. But if you are just a localite, you feel, constrained in terms of monetary within your own city. Just take a bus, just take a metro, just go to the nearest places, spend some quality time at least once a week or once a month. And that's so important because that is what is going to give you a bit of a revelation to you of what is out there, and you should bring that back and then introspect and start recognizing the things that are coming to you, because all these places are going to teach you some things. And then when you come back and learn about these and start recording your experiences as well. Because why I'm telling you to record is we have to start recognizing the trends that is happening internally. Once we recognize the trend, we know what we need to address next, Maybe it is some emotional baggages that you have to get rid of. That is what I call, we need to do some healing towards it. And it can be done through meditation, through, certain affirmations that can be said, uh, directing it towards the source as well. And then progressing it, progressing to the next stage after that. So this can be done. It is possible. So we have to just, give it some time.
Yeah, even I also believe like spirituality is, see, spirituality cannot be about making you idle, right? Making you sit idle. If spirituality is about sorting you out mentally, cutting the clutters from mind and giving the simplified answers of your own life troubles. So once spirituality pulls you out of your troubles and give you a more simplified version of you, probably the purpose of entire spirituality is to then put you into action and do something with that, right? With that new mode of you. So spirituality cannot be about putting you or making you sit idle all the time. This
Yeah,
is probably how people actually have started perceiving the spirituality.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe there's a gross difference between that.
yeah. Spirituality doesn't mean you are alone.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you don't seclude yourself. It's just that you, once you finish your work, you just go out and mingle with everybody like anything, just like any other day. But when you're in, you pay attention to what is going on. And always, I would say, detach from the drama. There's so much drama going on every day in the social media. We don't have to pay attention to all the drama that is out there. Yes, there are certain things that we need to know about. Just know about it and just come out of it. We don't have to be in that drama. We have to be out of the drama. So physically, we have to detach from it, and emotionally also we have to detach. Once we get involved physically and emotionally, it affects us internally, and then we start feeling very very low, and we start to feel that we have to do something and we have to do certain things. But there are officials that has the duty uh, for the city or for the country. They are responsible for what they have to do, right? All we can do is, if there is certain calamities, then we can always pray for the souls, right? But we don't have to get involved into the whole drama every day. So you see, every day there are thousands of news. Which one do you focus on? Which one do you want to pay attention to? There's no need. We just have to know what is going on. That's it, right? And then get out of it. Once we get involved, it
Yeah,
affects completely and it drains our energy completely.
right.
Yeah, you were saying
I
something.
remember I was somewhere reading in in the Gita actually, which was translated by Swami the Paramhanch Yoganand ji.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly I read that, but there was written that the real yogi is not the one who is like who does the meditation, who does all the yoga postures and then do nothing for the world and just leave the world and sit in the jungles. That he is not the real yogi. The real yogi is the one who actually does meditate, who does connect with the universe, who but beside that also performs all of his worldly rituals also, the worldly duties also, right?
yes,
And I remember reading also somewhere in the Gita that you can only leave home as a man of the house. You can only leave the house once you and become the yogi. In order to become the yogi, you can only leave the house once you choose to take responsibility of a bigger house, which is world.
yeah,
So it's really not about putting you into evil, but the spirituality is to make you convert into a man who can actually do more good to the society.
yeah.
You know?
So when we are listening to the news out there, for example, today, I believe you would have seen the news. There is a landslide in Vienna, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So as a evolved soul, we pray for the souls that are affected. We also pray for everything that's going to get done in the landslide, right? There
Right.
are officials, there are people who are already on top of the job. We just have to pray for everything that gets done for that place. Yeah. So this is our job to pray for it, but we don't have to be in the drama. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But we
Correct.
have
Got
to
it.
bring that prayer out there. So if everyone is like us, the number of energy of prayers that gets done for that landslide, works get done faster, the souls that were affected gets healed faster. Of course, those that has been affected completely and passed on because of the landslide, we send them off in a in a proper way. And this is all we can do, right? This is what we should do, and this is what we can
Right, yes. Thank you very much for coming down. This was a lovely session. A lot of learnings from you, a lot of discussion. I feel viewers will also get, to learn, to know so much things about how they can actually differentiate between the real guides, the real information, which actually will put you into the progression into their life, into their quest of, achieving something spiritually, and then they will be able to make a difference between who is the content creator whom they should actually avoid to follow, and who they should make their own choices of whom to follow, whom not to follow. That's what I will say. Lastly, I'll actually congratulate you for getting featured, getting interviewed on the Rosa TV for the Tamil audience. So all of our Tamil audience, if you want to watch her recent interviews on Rosa TV, I I suggest you go and search for Rosa TV Tamil YouTube channels and watch Yash's interviews over there. So thank you, Yash. Thank you very much for your time once again,
yeah.
and hope to conduct another session with you for another
Yeah,
detailed
thank
topics
you
on this
so
one.
much.